I thought it'd be helpful to do a video for people that are traveling with their cats and need to stay in a hotel, especially if you are new to cat showing. Most of these tips I unfortunately learned the hard way. Nidori, can you not? And I'm sure there's other tips that I could think of, but right now I am showing a kitten who does not act like a stud and his mother who thankfully doesn't spray. But here's some of my tips, and most of them are in the bathroom. So first thing you do is come in and close that toilet lid, because more often than not, they're going to be exploring, they're going to be klutzy, and they're going to fall in the toilet, and you're going to have a ruined cat for the show. Anytime I take a bath, I will dry out the tub, because if they get any kind of moisture on them, it's going to ruin your grooming. I always leave the litter box in here. That way, if they decide to dig a hole to china, the mess is on a floor that's easy to clean up. And I personally use these storage bins that I think I get from Walmart. And they have a lid on them so I can lock it while I'm traveling. And I've got one of these in the show hall too. And I put a paper towel over them in the show hall, so most of the time the cats want to lay in the litter box because it's a box. That way they don't get the litter up in their hair. But I really like those little storage boxes. I also keep their food and water in here. I feed raw, so if they decide they're gonna grab some meat chunks and throw them on the floor, it's just easier to wipe down on that kind of surface than, if I had tried to feed them in the carpet and they threw it in the carpet. The sink is also an issue. I make sure that there's no toothpaste or anything in the sink. Clean it down anytime I use it and dry it off so that if they sleep in it, they don't get water all over themselves. Here's unfortunately one that I definitely had issues with. Now, most beds in hotel rooms are not going to be this cat friendly. These ones have these storage type boxes that keep the cats from going underneath the bed, because the problem is they'll go underneath and then they'll climb their little butts up into the bed. So this one's good, except for it had a space between the wall where the cats could get in, so I was shoving these extra pillows there to keep them from going in. And I had to do it as well on this side, on these beds, to keep them from going back and getting themselves stuck. But both of the beds have these storage container type, I don't know if that's the right wording for it, but it keeps them from getting up and into the bed. A lot of it's just, to me, common sense, but I've been doing it for so long. Chairs can also be a problem. So if your cat at all is super fearful and trying to hide, it's probably just best to keep them in the bathroom or keep them in a cage in the room so that nothing bad happens. Also, just do a quick glance around the room before I let the cats out to make sure it's safe. This room had a ton of dead moths, and one of my friends had switched rooms because we don't know what killed those moths. They could have just died, or they could have got into pesticides, and if my cats eat the moths, that could be dangerous for them. But just kind of check all around, make sure that the room is clean. You don't want the room getting your perfectly clean cat dirty. But those are just a couple of my tips. I'm sure I will think of more at some point. If you have any comments or suggestions for other people, please put them in the comment section.